Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about how to improve your vocabulary about travel. To do this, you need to have a wider vocabulary, but also to be more precise and use the right word for the right situation. It's very normal for learners to repeat the same words over and over. For example, you might use trip for everything, business trip, organised trip, a trip to London. Or you try to be more creative and end up using the incorrect word. You say journey when trip is the correct word for that specific situation. So, do you always use the word trip when you talk about travel? After this lesson, you won't anymore. In this video, I am going to talk about the difference between words like trip, journey, travel, common verbs we use with these words, and the most common mistakes to avoid. Okay, let's start with the basics. First, travel. It is used as a verb to refer to the general idea of going from one place to another. For example, he travelled to Japan, or they travelled all night. Then we have trip. This is a noun. It means going somewhere and coming back, usually for a short time and often with a purpose. For example, he went on a trip to Japan, or he had to make several trips to the shop to get all the equipment. Okay, now 3 words that cause some confusion: journey, ride, and voyage. Journey. This is the process of going from A to B, and it's usually by land. For example, the journey from London to Edinburgh takes about 5 hours. Ride. It's a short journey in a vehicle like a car, a bike, a bus. For example, it's a 10-minute bus ride to the centre. Or, can I get a ride to the station? Voyage. You don't hear this word every day, but it's useful. It means a long journey, usually by sea or by space. The Titanic's voyage was its first and last. So, journey is by land, voyage by sea, or even by space. But what word would you use if you travel by air? A flight. That's correct. Now let's compare trip, journey, and ride. Because remember, they don't mean the same thing. You go to Paris, you come back. That's a trip. You sit on a train for 5 hours. That's the journey. You hop in a car for 10 minutes. That's just a ride. Next, let's talk about 2 words that are usually forgotten: tour and excursion. A tour is an organised visit to see several places. For example, we went on a tour around the country, but it can also mean going around a building, like they gave us a tour of the castle. An excursion is a short trip for pleasure, especially organised for a group. For example, we offer weekend excursions throughout the summer. So, is it a trip, a tour, or an excursion? A trip can be practical, like a trip to the supermarket, but a tour and an excursion are organised and for pleasure. So you wouldn't say, my weekly excursion to the supermarket, unless your supermarket is in the middle of a forest and you're taking a bus full of kids. Now, the verbs. This is where many learners make mistakes. We go on or take a trip, journey, voyage, tour, or excursion. Like we went on a trip to Rome, or she took a long journey across the desert. We make a journey, a voyage, or travel arrangements. For example, he made the voyage across the ocean, or they made travel arrangements online. We can also make a trip if it's practical or repeated, like make a trip to the shop. With ride, we don't say go on or make. We say go for a ride or take a ride. As in, let's go for a ride on our bikes. And we never use do. Don't say I did a trip. Always say go on or take. Let's do a quick recap. Trip, when you go from A to B and return, usually for a practical reason. Journey is the process of going from A to B. Ride is a short journey in a vehicle. Voyage for long journeys by sea or space. Tour and excursion are organised trips, usually for pleasure. And remember, go on, take, or make, but never do. If you find this video useful, give it a like. It really helps me make more lessons for you. Now it's your turn. Write your answers in the comments. I'll check. The Titanic sank on its first. From Paris to Berlin takes about 8 hours by train. The students went on a weekend to the mountains. Many people love to abroad during the summer holidays. As you can see, it's very easy to choose the right word. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more clear English lessons. See you in the next video, and happy travels.